Subscribe right now, or SpongeBob will steal your girlfriend. Serious, people who performed sexual favors in a school or in the workplace to get ahead. What was it for? And what are things like now? My wife was an internet and IT company. She fucked one of the managers on a daily basis. She got awesome grades. She ended up marrying him. Edit. Holy crap, this blew up. Thanks for the gold, guys. Little follow up. As soon as we got in a serious relationship, she left the company. We have been married for over 10 years and have 2 kids. We are still very happy together. Senior year of high school, our Spanish class took a 2-week trip to Mexico. 1 week was learning and the other was in Acapulco learning. Our teacher was mid-20s, and one night me and several students snuck out to the club. I went to the bathroom and saw her coming out. Both of us hammered. I said, if you don't tell I won't tell, thinking only of saving myself. She started crying. Life was over, etc. Now that I'm older I realize she was a really emotional drunk. Anyway, we went out back so she could calm down. Somehow she ended up rubbing me and at that point all thoughts went out the window. We banged by the dumpster of essentially a Pedro O'Horney's. That was the second of 5 nights there. We had sex 3 more times. Last night she had her realization of we can't do this. I said I know and I wouldn't cause trouble. We had our fun. Both were consenting adults. She was also a very generous lover. Like, not to get detailed, but that was the best I was ever taken care of. Shitty person. Because when we got off the flight she ran up and hugged her fiancé like nothing. The rest of that year, no matter what assignment I turned in, I got 100%. I wasn't going to argue. Ran into her a few years after college and she told me I still held the record for the worst written Spanish paper in her class. I Google translated the whole thing out of laziness, but I got 100% on it. She tried to rekindle a couple of times. I never obliged. She's one of those grass is always greener / lives in the past types. When I was in college I worked in a little family owned restaurant. The owner's wife was the manager and, well, she came on to me and we started fucking regularly. It was great because I got to call out whenever I wanted, leave early whenever I wanted, got all the good tables, good shifts, free food, and limited smoke breaks. But all my co-workers hated me. And since she was married, I know I'm a piece of shit. I was young and stupid and she was attractive. I knew we weren't going to be together, so when I met someone my own age at school and started dating her, she got really crazy and I ended up getting fired for, I can't even remember now. I was fired for some stupid reason, but it was really because she couldn't bear to see me anymore if I didn't want her. She would text and call me for months afterwards and even showed up at my apartment a few times and also lied saying I got her pregnant. She wasn't. She showed up at my new job and started a huge scene and almost got me fired my first week. So overall, 4/10 wouldn't recommend. Did you remind her that she was married? Used to blow my boss every Thursday. We had sex once. It was just a part-time retail gig and I got a bigger raise than my more deserving co-workers around the time it started. Actually felt pretty bad about that. I wasn't a lousy employee by any means, but my one co-worker seriously busted her ass and got a smaller raise. But he always let me go home early if we weren't super busy. That was nice. Edit. Well shit. I'll try to answer questions later, but I gotta go to a different job now. Face with stuck out tongue. Sadly there is no one to blow at this job, though a few have tried. Why Thursday? This is honestly my biggest fear. Working so hard only for someone else to cut ahead of you because of favors. No hate though, OP. So I'm one of about 4 girls working in a mostly male workplace. This isn't my story, but I'm roommates with a girl who went through / is currently going through this. B started about 2 years ago, and right off the bat, everyone knew something was up. Barely legal, no experience in our workplace, but got one of the better jobs here. And she stayed there. Our raises are based mainly on how well you can do your job and how many different positions you can work on our line. But somehow, even though she could only do one job and wasn't particularly good at it, she kept getting raises out the ass. No one else could prove anything, but we all kinda figured she was fucking our supervisor, who was married and twice her age. Neither of them admitted to it, but the raises kept coming. Her performance stayed pretty shit, and she basically got away with murder as far as attendance / accountability went. Everyone else treated her like shit and tried to get her to quit. Fast forward to about 8 months ago, when B's relationship with our boss went south. They broke up, and he's been trying to get her fired for about anything and everything he can think of. The catch is that she has documented proof of their relationship, which she's planning on sending to his wife as well as our bosses if he really does manage to get her fired. So now she's basically got an ironclad position where we work and is making considerably above skill level money wise. I'd say it worked out fairly well for her. Edit. So I've come back to say that while I don't agree with her personal choices, this girl is my friend. Should she have slept with Bossman? No. Does that make her a shit person? Also no. It takes two to tango. I don't think it's fair for either of them to lose their livelihoods over this. While mistakes were made on both parts, neither of them have mistreated the rest of us. It's just a slimy situation all around and I hope they both move past it. Edit number 2. Because there seems to be some confusion, I'm going to clarify that this is not a corporate or office job. We work in a slaughterhouse. It's basically a factory job. While she has one of the less shitty tasks to perform, it's not like she gunned anyone else out of a job. Literally all you need to work here is a high school diploma and no violent criminal background. Seems like it, but if you peel it back, she has a job where a bunch of people dislike her, no one respects her, and a cloud of drama around her. She better be making a fortune to endure that misery. Started sleeping with my manager after 1 month on the job. Didn't do it to get ahead. Just happened one night after getting drinks at a company event. She was 31 and I was 22. I ended up getting better shifts because of it. But once the office gossip began, I stopped it. She moved on to another coworker who was a friend of mine, but I didn't mind because I moved on to another coworker who was more attractive in my opinion. After leaving that job and starting a new one, I began dating my new manager after a month and we've been together for almost 2 years now. We don't work together anymore, but when we did, I got the best schedule. Other people were a little pissed off understandably, but the head boss didn't care because he was openly dating someone below him and giving her preferential treatment, so he couldn't really say anything. That sounds like a terrible place to work, honestly. We ran into my boss at a swingers bar. PS they're hit and miss. He tried to duck away but me and my husband are forward. We ran over and said hello to him and his wife. Joked a bit fancy seeing you here, etc. Husband gave me the nod, so I got flirty. We went back to his house, husband and his wife in tow. Don't worry. Anyway, it wasn't to get ahead intentionally. I think he's cute. He's keeping in shape for 45, which some dudes just say fuck it all. I had thought about it before. This was my first real gig and the whole sex with boss thing was attractive. Husband already said I could do it whenever if he was up for it. I chickened out a few times before this to try though. Didn't know how it would go. Didn't know he was a swinger/open relationship. Anyway, turns out he likes stuff in his butt. Husband ain't about that, but his wife strapped up and went behind him while he was behind me. Was fun. We talked over lunch on Monday that it can't happen again. It never happened. And we can never talk about it. Until the holiday party 3 weeks later when we all went back to our place this time. It's been a few years on and off. Sometimes we sneak away at lunch. Sometimes we get together on the weekend. Hubby and his wife hit it off well too. I genuinely, like a porn movie, had to hide under his desk one time when someone came in. Fortunately it was only a few minutes. I'd like to say it didn't affect any decisions, and I don't take advantage of it at all, but I think he definitely has my back more now, no pun intended. Been promoted, given more training opportunities, etc. compared to others. At the same time I ask for more training, more opportunities, and the promotion was within my timeline, but I did get picked over Becca. But Becca's a cunt who ruins everyone's day anyway. I guess I did get special treatment because I did get Becca moved so she wasn't near me anymore. Fuck Becca. Guess I'll be the idiot of this thread then. Way back when I was starting my IT career and went for an interview as support admin. Fancy word for help desk agent. For a big ISP at the time. The manager was quite a striking woman. On her 40s, long blonde hair, blue eyes, massive boobs, and wore one of those tight blazer and skirt outfits that you commonly see reproduced ad nauseum on big companies. She started by doing a very professional interview, asked a ton of questions about my background, the almost non-existent professional one at the time, and cleared me on how much of a responsibility my position would be, how I'd be the face of the company, blah blah blah, all those shenanigans that make me yawn nowadays every time someone is throwing those lines at some poor new hire. Then it got definitely interesting. She started asking a bunch of standard questions about myself, like if I had a car, was flexible with schedules, working night shifts now and then, and if I was married. After I told her that I had a girlfriend and we were living with our parents until we had enough cash to buy an apartment and move in together, she asks me if I was willing to do some extra work to improve my pay and advance my career, and while doing this she literally stood up and sat herself on the edge of a second desk placed on the side of her office and pulled her skirt up. She explained that she had helped numerous new hires before me this way, and that if I had a bit of a brain and kept quiet I could have gone very far and high up in the chain in very little time. Okay, now I must confess that I'm not exactly a sin and I like to indulge myself in the numerous pleasures that life provides us with. But for some stupid reason, and despite the fact that my cock was already hard as fuck and screaming for me to release him and dive headlong in between those legs, I kinda stood up and all I could say was, "Oh no thank you." Now I still remember the look on her face. Totally matter of fact about it, she just said that it was a shame but okay, my loss, and we left it at that. Went home, wanked like a madman and got myself thinking if I should tell my girlfriend about it. Told her eventually and she believed me. She worked for another company in the same field and there were rumors about some of the people hired over there. Best thing was she knew I was telling the truth because I didn't get hired. Edit. Thank you all for the kind words. I don't know why you regret this so much. You stayed faithful to the girl you were planning to move in together with. I guess it did not end well with her and now you're like, hey, could have fucked one more woman, but you did the right thing. 100%. You're not an idiot. You're a good man. In the late 90s, I got hired to be a phone agent for a distribution and import company. The job was to take incoming orders. It paid $22K a year. Within the first week I began sucking the owner's cock on the regular. He was married. I was a young gay male. I was there less than a month before the marketing director announced her pregnancy and intent to quit when the baby came to be a stay-at-home mom. The owner promoted me to her assistant to learn the job, gave me a raise to $35K, and when the marketing director left 7 months later, I got a job and a raise to $58K. I continued to blow my boss once or twice a week for 5 years, and by the time I resigned, I was earning $70K. What are things like now? Now I'm married to a dude. I went back to college to earn my PhD and I spend all day reading, writing, and getting high. Edit. I appreciate the interest and fuck you people for making my dick sucking among my highest rated comments. As for all the questions like, how did this start? Or any other question you have, it's been answered here somewhere. I promise. You can read my comment history if you're that interested. I'm kinda done talking about blowjobs for today. I have to go blow my husband now and prepare dinner. Equals the absolute dream.
Like and subscribe for more daily fresh new videos. Thanks for watching.